Good way to end it. My father. So a little backstory for me. My father was in a coma the last 6 years of his life. He had had a stroke earlier on in life. Didn't take care of himself, which is a lot of why I try to keep up on being in shape and taking care of myself. That's a lot to do with it because he was a lot younger. He was younger than me by a couple of years. He was in his mid 40s when he had the aneurysm that put him in a comatose state. Is it basically burst in his brain? By the time they got to him, he was asleep when it happened. By the time they got to him, it was already gone. His brain was basically done. So that was when I was 9. My sister was 4. So 6 years later, so I'm 15 years old. So I'm a freshman. No, I'm sorry, I'm a junior in high school. So like your alarm clock. Did you didn't lose me, did you? I thought it just
for a
clicked.
second. You're second. You're good though. Only for a second.
I don't know what's going on with this freaking thing today, but maybe it's the ghost of Michael. No, but anyway. So basically, I set my alarm every day for the same time because that was the time to get up, get ready and get to the bus, right? So I used to always have it set for 6 o'clock. That was just the time.
Yeah.
For some reason, the night before my dad finally passed, I set it to 6:05. Don't ask me if. Oh shit! Where'd it go? You still there? Yo, bro.
I'm here, bro. I needed a second. Bro, I needed a second. You had me cracking up so much. I got a stitch in my ab, and I had to stretch it out a minute, so I had to go. It was like starting to cramp.
Because I said it was the ghost of Michael.
Oh, shut up, dude.
Michael, it's noodles, Michael. It's just noodles.
Noodles.
It's just rice, Michael. All right, so it's supposed to be a serious moment, but at least I laugh about it now. But I have but it makes you think. It's a very crazy story. I tell a lot of people because when people try to say, did you ever something ever happen to them? This is as close as it ever got to me. Was so my alarm clock was always set for 6 o'clock. For some reason, the night before my dad passed, I set it to 6:05. And I'm getting ready for the bus. I'll never forget it. The phone rings, and it was one of those things where as soon as it rang, I already knew.
Yeah.
I already knew. I knew he was finally gone, and it was finally over. Because like going to see someone in a comatose vegetative state, it's like the song "Hollow" by Pantera. I was related to that. That's not them. It's just a shell. There's not even a ghost in there. There's nobody there.
Right.
Like if anything, maybe they're trapped in there, if anything, or they're gone beyond. It's not real. So we didn't really go to visit him very much often because first of all, it was very far away. The nursing home that would take him and care for him. And, it was too painful to see somebody like that. Bed sores, they can't get out of bed, they're not moving. The only time you hear their voice is if they cough or something like that. Their eyes are open, but nobody's there. So as soon as the phone rang, I already knew. Yeah. And I remember my mom's like, fine, like it's over. It's finally over. Like, and I'm like, and it just came up immediately. I just knew. I'm like, what time did he die? My mom's like, 6:05.
Son of a bitch.
Yep, it was 6:05. So for no rhyme or reason, some people could say coincidence. Some of the naysayers, I'm sure, would say that. But I know that when that phone rang, I knew when the phone rang that it was over. And I knew that it was 6:05 before I asked the question. So
yeah.
Call it intuition, whatever you want to call it. But and you think about it logically, what would 5 more minutes of sleep really do me? You know what I mean? You're a teenager. You're like, 5 more minutes, really, dude? Like, what's that going to do for you? You never heard of the snooze button? Like, we all had a snooze button. You know what I mean? So what was
snooze
5 minutes really going to do?
Snooze is a 15 minutes.
Yeah. So you're like, what's 5 minutes going to do? So right. And then it was the first day I ever did it, and it was just weird. It was very strange, but
It's very strange. I agree.
That's one of those things where it's like, I believe that there's definitely, similar to like you with the Ouija board thing, much on the more ominous evil side, because that was not a benevolent force that was doing that to you. That's fucked. That's like that movie, The Entity, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
We talked about that movie, The Entity, where the girl, based on a true story, she was paralyzed and it was like a molesting demon.
Yes.
Fuck. That movie fucked me up. It almost went on my top 5, but that's an honorable mention. But like, it also shows you that there's also good spirits out there, much like Poltergeist Part 2, where their grandmother's there and she basically saves her from Cain, and she basically saves Carol Ann from going into the light. And you got to remember that this is just the mortal coil. Life doesn't end; it only continues. This is only one step of our existence, or and if anyone's into meditation or anything, I highly recommend you get into it. You kind of also understand that there's something far beyond us and the universe as a whole, and the spiritual realm as a whole. Like, there's so many different things that we don't understand, but you can't deny their existence. And
Right.
that's what
Sure.
that's what I think.
I could agree with that. All right, my last story, because you picked the other one first. Now we're going to do the house story.
Yeah.
We lived on Whitecroft Ave in Whitecroft. Now, I know the reasoning behind why this situation happened, but that paired with the fact I left this part out about the Ouija board thing. When we moved into that house, first day we went up into the attic, laying right there as you walked up the stairs was a Ouija board.
No.
Yes. It was sitting there, dude, just sitting there. And I don't remember what we did with it. I don't know if we kept it up there. I can't remember. But I never liked that house. I always got a bad vibe from it. So, and stuff would always get in the house, dude. We had a chimney. All right. Basically a straight shot chimney in the living room, right by the driveway. But animals would constantly get up there. So you had to put like chicken wire or any of that stuff up there, right?
Yeah.
And we would put it up there, but those squirrels, man, they ain't dumb. They find ways. And if they can get in there, they crawl all over. So one day we're sitting there in the living room. So there was a living room, and then there was a dining room, and the fireplace was kind of in the middle of the two. And then there was steps going upstairs, and then a kitchen off to the side. But it was a big open space with a fireplace. So we were sitting there, and all of a sudden you hear so I'm like, what the dude? I'm like, what the fuck? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to cut some of it out so we're not going too late, because I got, we still got to get real fitness, get real segment. Get Real Fitness. That's not a bad name of a joint. If you're looking for a name of a joint, Get Real Fitness. Be a subsidiary of Realistic Fitness. So, come to find out, dude, it was a squirrel. A squirrel got into the chimney, crawled his little ass into some crevasse, and couldn't get out.
No.
Got stuck. Okay? This isn't even the worst yet, dude. This isn't even the worst.
Risky.
So we called someone. I remember it. They tried to get to him, bro. This motherfucker was in a spot they couldn't even get to him. They couldn't get to him. So they're like, there's nothing we can do. So obviously they did a better job up top.
He's gone. Forget him. We did all we could.
Forget about it. We did all we could.
Did all we could.
All of a sudden, bro, a few, I don't know, days later, I'm sitting there and you hear I'm like, what the fuck is that now? So I walk over there, and I'm going to quote the great and late Odorous Urungus. I walked over there, and maggots were falling like rain. So
Fucking hate.
There was like a little shelf, a little metal shelf that came out from the fireplace, and you just saw them squirming, all of them everywhere, and they were just dropping hundreds. I would even dare say thousands were just dropping, dude, constantly for days. Days, dude. Maggots were just raining out of this thing. So what did we do?
Like the meat from freaking Poltergeist.
Yeah. So what we did was, and it's kind of ingenious looking back. I don't remember where they heard to do this, but they took wallpaper and put it upside down and laid it around, so all the maggots got caught on the wallpaper as
That's
they
a good
fell.
idea.
And then you just change out the wallpaper or whatever. So we did that, but not all the maggots fell down, mofo. So
Oh, no.
a few days after that,
Flies
days
everywhere.
after that, we got get out. Flies everywhere. Just like in the Amityville, dude. Remember when the priests, they're like, get out. And all the flies?
Yep.
Flies everywhere in the house. It was like 3 plagues.
Flies?
I was catching flies. So then there was that. And another time before that even happened, motherfucking birds used to dive bomb down into the house. We had birds in the living room. We were trying to open a window and get them out and shit. I know that's not really scary or spooky, but like raining maggots and flies in a house you don't feel comfortable, where you found a Ouija board in the attic, I think you put it all together. That's a little fucking spooky. I hope you like this segment for Halloween 2023. Let us know. Maybe we got some more stories, but that was some real ghost stories.